Go ahead, talk. Sorry. Okay.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I'd like to start before we dive into the agenda here in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to have the opportunity to swear in Dr. Benitez and Dr. Yarbrough, who have graciously agreed to serve this board for another 4 years. Thank you for doing so. If you could raise your right hand and turn on your microphones and please repeat after me. I, and then state your name,
I, Orlando Yarbrough,
I, Abby Benitez,
solemnly
solemnly swear
solemnly
swear
swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
you can say it in unison too, perform the duties of member of the Board of Education
perform the duties of member of the Board of Education
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and according to law,
and according to law,
and that I will at all times
and that I will at all times
strive to use the power
strive to use the power
strive to use the power
entrusted to me
entrusted to me
as such officer
as such officer
for the best interests of the city.
for the best interest of the city.
So help me God.
So help
Thank
me
you,
God.
God.
Congratulations and thank you again for serving.
Thank you.
All right, so I'd like to call the meeting to order and note for the record that we have a full quorum and all the members are in attendance. Thank you for being here, everybody. Mr. Wilcox, would you help us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Wrote that one this time. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Wilcox. So as outlined in the charter, the mayor of the city is supposed to oversee the meeting and the election of the Board of Education every 2 years after the first of the year. And so that's why I'm talking and not Dr. Yarbrough, who has been the president for some time. I also, just before we go into the election, like to welcome Attorney Barrera as our new Board of Education attorney. Thank you for stepping up. And Attorney Alexiadis, thank you for seeing us through many, many years of challenging issues. Appreciate your service. I know that you're not going anywhere, but we're grateful to you. And so I'd like to move on to the elections. Let's start with the election for chair. I'd like to open the floor for nominations for chair. And I recognize Mr. Wilcox.
I nominate Dr. Orlando Yarbrough.
So there's a nomination for Dr. Yarbrough. There's a second by Ms. Downer. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other? Are there any other nominations? Okay, so I'd like to close the floor for nominations. Is there any discussion on the nomination of Dr. Yarbrough? Mr. Juarez.
I would just like to thank Dr. Yarbrough for his service as president. During my first year of service on this board, he's been incredibly helpful to me, very informative. I appreciate his style of leadership, his kindness, patience, and wisdom. And so I fully support his renomination.
Thank you, Mr. Juarez. Any other discussion, Dr. Joyner?
I'd like to echo what Ms. Suarez said. I've known Dr. Yarbrough since he was a graduate student at Yale, and he's bright, ethical, and highly energetic. And he's going to be a phenomenal asset as he continues to serve as the president of our board.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Any other discussion? Ms. Downer?
I'm not gonna talk that long, but because getting my voice back, but Dr. Yarbrough has, I want to say, one word, integrity. You have a great deal of integrity, not just, your qualifications fit for the board. I appreciate you, our talks, our laughs, we laugh a lot. But in the end, we get serious. So, no, I couldn't think of another better person to lead the board.
Thank you, Ms. Downer. Any other discussion? Dr. Benitez?
I think everybody said everything that's important, but I want to say that what it might not come across to many people is how humble Dr. Yarbrough is. He does not need to be, because he can hold his end of any bargain, any discussion, but he is a humble person who does listen to other people. And I think that makes a great leader even better than just a great leader. So thank you. Thank you for your ears always open.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor of supporting Dr. Yarbrough for president, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? So seeing none, Dr. Yarbrough passes unanimously. Congratulations, Dr. Yarbrough, and thanks for stepping up. Moving on next to vice chair. Are there any nominations for vice chair? Dr. Joyner.
I nominate Matthew Wilcox for vice chair.
All right. Dr. Joyner made the nomination, and Dr. Yarbrough seconded, and Ms. Downer also seconded. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Seeing none, I'll close the floor for nominations. Is there any discussion on the nomination? Dr. Joyner.
I used to think that James Brown was the hardest working man in show business, and he was. But Matthew Wilcox is the hardest working man in education. He spends countless hours reading, researching, driving up to Hartford, going any place he has to go. And he might just be the best finance policymaker that I've ever met. And I've been around. I've been in a lot of places. And the knowledge that he has in school finance is just off the chart. And he's also one of the most ethical, and he's humble as well. He's a brilliant man, great father, great husband, great friend, and a tireless worker on behalf of our community and especially our children. Proud to serve with him.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Any other discussion? Dr. Yarbrough.
Yes. Mr. Wilcox has been an asset to this board and also to me personally. I'm very grateful for just the weight that he carries with this role. He takes it seriously. He puts in above and beyond the amount of time and energy, not only doing the task assigned to him in his various roles, but also fielding my questions, my commentary, my wondering about what is possible. And I appreciate your work to operate in fairness and to receive insights and recommendations from others and to see how it can help this district and this board be better. Thank you very much for your willingness to hopefully serve again in this role. And I think the district very much can benefit from your continued participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yarbrough. Any other discussion? Mr. Juarez?
I'd like to echo a lot of the things that have been said about Mr. Wilcox. He's, I think, a real asset to this board. I would also say, just having, served on committees with him, I can say that I appreciate that when and he serves on committees that I don't, that when I'm voting on something that his committees put forth, I know that it's been carefully vetted, thought about, considered. And so I deeply appreciate that about you. And I, again, would fully support your continuing in this role.
Mr. Juarez, Dr. Benitez.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Juarez. I do always admire how Mr. Wilcox reads thoroughly what he receives and also listens to the questions that we raise. And at times, he's also able to admit that he might have not done enough research and back down on something and go at it and get us the best possible answers. So I appreciate the work that he does in the finance but also how he supports all the other committees with his thorough reading. That is a plus.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor of supporting Mr. Wilcox for vice chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, Mr. Wilcox. Thank you again for stepping up.
Thank you.
And finally, for secretary, I'd open the floor for nominations for secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary? Dr. Yarbrough.
Yes, I would like to nominate Dr. Joyner for secretary.
All right, there's a nomination
Second.
for Dr. Joyner and the second from Ms. Downer. Any other nominations? Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? Seeing none, I'll close the floor for nominations for secretary and open the floor for discussion. Any discussion? Dr. Yarbrough.
Yes. In addition to knowledge and experience and wisdom that are relevant to this district strengthening itself, Dr. Joyner is willing and able to, one, share that knowledge and information and wisdom. He's not a type of person or elder to hold on to information and say, well, y'all just go suffer, figure it out yourself. But he is more than willing and more than capable of helping me and this board and this district to see a broader picture of what is possible. And he experienced what is possible. And as well, Dr. Joyner is a continual learner. So he is not someone who just sits back on past experience and wisdom, but he can talk to you about AI just as if I don't know if you can talk about the slide ruler, but I don't know if you go back that far, but you could talk about a wide range of things, which means you continue to be an educated educator, where the times are not passing you by, but you continue to stay in lockstep with what is happening with education today, and you merge your wisdom with the present moment. And I'm better for it personally, and I think our district is better for it. Thank you for serving.
Thank you, Dr. Yarbrough. Dr. Benitez.
Yes, I think I agree with constantly learning, but I always think that someone who has lived through history, painful history, brings a wealth of knowledge that is very necessary for urban education. So I always see Dr. Joyner as that one person who doesn't only talk about what he's read in books, but what he has lived as a human being. His span of knowledge is a few centuries. And I admire that because even though he's lived through so much, he still can laugh as he just did. And so I think we couldn't pick a better secretary for this board.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Any other discussion? Mr. Juarez?
I'd like to-
Ms. Downer, you also had your hand? So Ms. Downer is after.
Oh, sorry. Again, I want to just say that I've over the last year learned a lot from working with Dr. Joyner. I appreciate that when there are topics that he thinks we need to look at in greater depth, he'll reach out. He's forwarded articles. He's forwarded information that has been very useful in sort of my developing of my thinking. I appreciate Dr. Joyner, your sort of historical, memory, your knowledge of not only New Haven Public Schools and New Haven, but sort of just, what is possible in the realm of education and what has happened in historically in the United States and beyond. I think you're an incredible resource, and I appreciate having you here as we make decisions together. Your perspectives are important and wonderful. And one thing that, beyond your expertise and experience, I appreciate your passion and your sense of fairness. And I know that you've said that perhaps sometimes those get more, or they get the better of you perhaps, but I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful that we have someone with those strengths. So thank you for what you've done as secretary in the past, and I hope that you'll continue.
Thank you, Mr. Juarez. And Ms. Downer?
So I'm going to be short because my voice, but I just want to say, just while we're here in Jackie Robinson, Dr. Joyner has graced Jackie Robinson Walls as principal, right? So just to echo the 55, he said it was 56 years of being in education. I had it at 55, but I'm close. So, but I just wanted to say thank you for being very positive and the impact you have had just personally on my life, and the wisdom that you have shared, especially coming on this board and, everything I have learned through you. And again, I want to echo everything everyone says. Even if it's a quiet night, you always get a text from Dr. Joyner, something he wanted us to look at, So I appreciate you and, I support you.
Thank you, Ms. Downer. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, I'd just like to say thanks to Dr. Joyner for deciding to run again. He promised he wouldn't do it, but he did, and I'm very glad for that. One of the great joys that I've had on this board is getting to know and become friends with Dr. Ed Joyner. So I greatly appreciate that. All I do worry about is judgment when it comes to judging people's character like my own and inflating it. But I do understand that that doesn't mean that he doesn't have perfect judgment when it comes to applying his years of experience to the problems of the current now and in the near future, and then setting things up for this district moving forward. And I just am glad that we're all together at this table tonight as we continue starting into another year of service to the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilcox. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor of supporting Dr. Joyner for secretary, please say aye. Are there any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, Dr. Joyner. You too have unanimous approval from the board. Thank you for stepping up. And just before I hand it over to Dr. Yarborough to take over the rest of the meeting, I just want to echo many of the comments that people said. This is unpaid public service by the folks up here, and the near perfect attendance of almost every member, the commitment that you all showed to the city and to the students is something that is exemplary for our community. So thank you for stepping up in a oftentimes very thankless role. Dr. Yarborough.
Thank you very much, Mayor Elicker. Thank you, board. Happy New Year to our district. I have one modification to the agenda I want to put forward, and then I also would like to offer a moment of silence for us. I move to modify the agenda to add after the executive session, items, approval of collective bargaining agreement with New Haven Federation of Teachers, Local 933, and approval of collective bargaining agreement with School Administrators Association of New Haven, Inc. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well, so that motion carries. Just want to invite us to have a brief moment of silence for the young people we lost recently and also the other losses to district staff. The moment of silence does not capture and reflect what these individuals meant to the district, what they mean to their families. But right now, it's just a way to say that we notice and we're thinking about them. So if we could just have a brief moment. Thank you. Okay, right now we can enter into public participation. Welcome to the Board of Education regular meeting. Regular meetings are a time for the board to conduct its business. As a Board of Education member, we are here to set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and to make policy for the district. The board may hear public participation for up to 60 minutes. Public participation shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. One speaker cannot yield their time to another speaker. There will be no responses this evening to any questions or concerns raised. They will be referred to the administration for review. As adults, we serve as positive role models for our students. Please be respectful of people. We ask speakers not to make defamatory comments or use abusive or vulgar language. Dr. White, are we ready for public comment? Okay. Thank you very much. But we will close public comment. Next on our agenda, the action item to approve the minutes of December 8th, 2025, and the approval of the special Board of Ed minutes of December 19th, 2025. Mr. Wilcox?
I move we approve the minutes of December 8th and approve the minutes of the special board meeting on December 19th.
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. Next is the personnel report. Dr. Negron? I'm gonna move it. Yes. You want to say something, Ms.?
Dr. Yarborough, I'm asking that we move the personal report approval until after the executive session.
Thank you. I will move the personnel report to after the executive session. Next, finance and operations. Mr. Wilcox?
Thank you. Before I make the motion, does anybody need anything moved separately this evening? Hearing, seeing not, I move that we approve the one abstract, 4 agreements, 1 amendment, 2 purchase orders, and 2 change orders as outlined on our agenda.
That was moved and seconded by Dr. Joyner. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailing?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Our students report. Ms. Cologne, Mr. Ailing?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just going to be sharing some citywide student updates. So from me, you can move on to the next slide. There you go. Okay, so I'm working with Miss Abbott to complete the rest of the citywide student councils. We won't be having one in January due to midterms is that week, and then we also have too many days off in February. So we're still trying to see, maybe we can have one, we'll see. But March is definitely our next citywide student council meeting. For our next meeting, we have 2 students from HSC that are doing an internship at the NHFTO building, and they wanted to talk about their experience and also how to get more involved. And then some key events that we still want to plan for citywide is the Students Closet. As you know, we did one in the summer. A trip to the state capitol, which we're working with Miss Abbott to complete, and then a fun educational field trip that a lot of the students from citywide want to have. And then just to talk about growth with citywide, we've been averaging about 120 students, which is a lot of students. It's super cool. Yeah, super nice. And I'm glad that a lot of students have been reaching out and coming to these meetings along with NHA. They used to not come as often, but now they've actually, averaging on coming. So super cool. Yeah, next slide. So I just want to talk about restructuring citywide a bit. So I feel like there has been kind of this like a framework that was said, but I feel like there's never like a written framework on how to like what is citywide about and how to lead and how to do all that. So I do want to kind of create a framework on how to lead citywide and how to lead a lot of people, a lot of students. So I'm currently wanting to launch a survey to all the schools on how do their student councils work, because every school student council is structured differently. So just to see how they work, and then establishing we've had student leaders and they kind of change every citywide student council meeting, I would say, and that's good, but I think it'd be best if we have a set student leaders in mind. And then also having student leaders kind of lead a group, table cabinet. So since we've been having a lot of students, it's very difficult to sometimes manage and keep everyone engaged. So we've been wanting to kind of, each leader would have their own table, like 4 tables in mind, and they keep guiding those, keeping them engaged and stuff like that. And then next slide. And then kind of a why. So I want the next student representative to strengthen their role in a sense. So this is definitely for the Abdella and then the next student representative on how to lead the council, how to find new leaders, how to make student reports. So this is also part of my capstone. I want to create a framework for how to be a student representative. And I think that'd be super fun and super cool. And yeah, that's all I have for my student report. And Abdella wants to talk about his.
Hi, by the way, is there any questions before I move on with my update for Ms. Trinelli? None? All right, so I emailed the board this morning in regards to the liaison update. So as I said before, we are currently making a questionnaire for the students on the student climate and experience. It is still in progress, and after much talk, it is pending activation in March. And two things, mostly one thing. So, I wanted to ask the board on an update regarding the share table policy. I'm not sure if it's like in the procedural status. Is it going to be accepted? Is it still pending review? And same thing with the Savara contract as well. That's pretty much all I have for now.
Thank you very much. Dr. Benitez?
Yes, so after much discussion, as you are aware, we were advised by the staff that it is not necessary to have a specific policy, but to have a guidance document so that schools understand how to do what a lot of them are already doing, but with guidance. So as part of our policy on providing students with nourishment, it is clear that that is something we can do. It doesn't have to be very specific to the shared table, but that they will be working on a guidance document so that principals understand how they can do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And if you could also send me like a copy by any chance?
Yes, most definitely. As soon as the doctor said B, share that with me. I think it's a better way because it's not necessarily something
Because I don't want to-
that we need because
I
we
don't
already
want to
have.
force the staff in a way. I'm just like making this as like an initiative, just in the case.
Yes, apparently it is something that is happening in many schools. But because we already have a policy that we feed our students, this is not necessary for policy, but it's necessary for guidance. And I'm sure that you all have noticed how we have policies on bullying, for example, but we have to have a guidance document that helps the staff actually execute what we say we want. So because the share table falls into the category of something we already have. We provide students with lunch. It's out of that shared table product is going to come out of. We will then do a guidance, the staff will do a guidance document to help schools actually sure that in every school that's a possibility, it's an option, is something that can be done. But the staff has advised us, and I agree with this because many of us did that without policy because we were already mandated to provide food. So it falls into that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But definitely, we do need a guidance document so people know what to do due to allergies and due to refrigeration and that kind of thing.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Benitez.
And I thank you because there might be schools that had not had that conversation and now they are having it. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional discussion? I do want to share, Ms. Colon, I think you mentioned that you're looking at how to provide a written document that captures the structure of the student leadership portion. And I think you also mentioned that as part of your capstone project. Just excited to hear that. One, that you would take your extra time and energy and create a capstone project that is a part of this. And I'm just excited for the legacy that you're going to leave behind. as you continue to build upon what someone left for you, but to take it even further and to strengthen the student leadership portion of our district. So thank you very much for working on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Great. Thank you very much. Next, our superintendent's report. Dr. Negron.
Thank you. No formal PowerPoint today, but I do want to take a few minutes to extend my sincere gratitude to the members of the negotiating teams, for the teachers, the district, and the city. We have arrived at an agreement that will secure a salary increase of 13.57 over the next 3 years. Together with the nearly 15% raises achieved in the previous contract, we are making substantial progress towards our goal of providing our teachers with the competitive compensation that they so much deserve. While the raise is significant, we know it is just one way. We need to recognize the immense work that our teachers do inside and outside the classroom. We are committed to continuing our efforts to make our schools welcoming spaces for students, for their families, and for our teachers. That means improving the climate in our schools, as well as their physical conditions, because our students and our teachers deserve settings that support their work. Sustaining these increases and further improving compensation requires resources beyond what the city budget can solely provide. Improving the conditions of our schools will require substantial capital investments beyond what the city alone can support. We are fully committed to advocating aggressively for additional funding from the state of Connecticut, and we will be working closely with our state delegation to ensure New Haven receives the equitable financial support necessary to sustain this progress and further elevate the work of our teachers in the years to come. The getting to this ratification proves that we can collaborate with a focus on our shared goals and that we can achieve outcomes that strengthen our entire district. And later in executive session, we will be discussing it, and I am confident that the board will be approving this agreement. So again, thank you for all the negotiating teams. With that, I conclude my superintendent's update.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Thank you. Seeing none, for the president's report, one, I would like to ask the school district to suggest what locations may be available and suitable for future Board of Education meetings. And then we can look at switching to an additional location based on what schools are available. Any discussion? Seeing none, teaching and learning report, Dr. Joyner, and facilities naming committee report, Dr. Joyner.
Okay, let me, first of all, let me say amen to what Dr. Negron had to say about the negotiations. It should be clearly understood that we don't have a failed system, but we have systems around us that fail us. I was a teacher. That's my identity, really. And I know how hard it was when I had to work several jobs to make ends meet. And sometimes, even with the several jobs, the ends didn't meet. And I almost wish that state governments would take the moral position that teaching and education is probably the most important institution in our society, and that they should guarantee enough monies as well as support for education beyond the bachelor's degree and all those other things that I think teachers deserve. And I also believe that we all should understand that we're on the same side in this, and that we have to be careful in future interactions how we speak to one another, whether we blame each other or whether we come together and recognize that the history of public education in this country has always been underfunding, demonization, and the kind of contested terrain where minority groups of people have tried to take over education, tell us what we should teach, how we should teach it. And that's why it's important for New Haven to set the example of the kind of conversations we have with each other around salaries and teaching and learning conditions. There's a causal link between all the ills of society because they get deposited at the schoolhouse. We feed the most number of kids in this city. We transport the most number of kids in this city. And over time, education has been responsible for issues like homelessness, malnutrition, health, mental health. And it has been as a result of tremendous pressures on families, particularly poor families, where even families can't do some of the things for their kids that would make them more adequately prepared for school. Some of you may have heard about the accident recently where a 13-year-old young man and a 16-year-old were killed as a result of still in a car and running into a tree. And I was stunned and saddened by the mother of the little boy who said that she did everything she could for her son over the course of his life, and it never seemed to get better. And of course, that was one of our students. And when he finally got to Wexler, things had started to look better for him. But unfortunately, some of our kids come from backgrounds historically and in the present where they've endured a lot of difficulty and trauma. And we don't always have the resources to address that. I've always felt that some kids would benefit from a residential setting where they're taken out of this environment and given the kind of education and support for their development that might help them deal with the challenges they deal with when they come back. And so we ought to realize that we're all in this together and that we all have to rally around the demand for more fiscal resources, more respect for what we do, because you can't tell a single kid that I've ever taught, or even a child in my family, that our system failed them. It didn't fail them. If they came to school, they worked hard. There's so many ways in which they can benefit. And in New Haven, there's always somebody in a school or around the school that will go out of their way to help a kid that is suffering, whether it's to buy them clothing, to buy them food. We used to wash the clothes of kids right here at Jackie Robinson in our home ec department that didn't have those kind of facilities in their home. And we have 2 students. There aren't that many school boards in the country that have student representatives. We have some of the best students ever that have been on our board. In fact, I would argue that some of our students are better than many of the adults on many school boards, and Janali and Ali are certainly examples of that. And when I think about their background, I hope I'm not embarrassing them, but you know, there's a line in a Langston Hughes poem, I believe. It says, "Life for me ain't been no crystal stair." And many of our kids come from really difficult backgrounds. They come from third world countries where education is lacking unless you're from the elite class. They come from historical groups that have been subjugated and enslaved and colonized and what have you. And they come to New Haven, they get a great education, and they go out and help to heal the world. And I sent my favorite mayor a quote recently. It says, "Behind every strong person, there's a story that gave them no choice. And I actually saw that on the back of a T-shirt. That's a lot more wisdom sometimes than you see in a congressional hearing. And so I won't be here in 29. I hope I'll be here, but I won't be here when there's another negotiation. But I'm hoping that by that time, we will have understood where the real problem lies and that we will address each other at all times in respectful language, and that we will come together around pressing for our just due, because we're not asking for anything that we're not owed. Because teachers give far more to this country. And when I say teachers, I mean all educators, particularly the ones on the front lines in the classroom. Education is the most efficient, selfless institution in our culture. It's also the most transformative. I'm an example of that. Third generation out of slavery, poor as a church mouse. Sometimes ashamed to go to school because of what I didn't have. There were no free lunches, none. And so you'd sit in the cafeteria, people would pay for their lunches, and you would just sit there. I've seen kids come to school with holes in their shoes. They wore summer clothes, some of their brothers, some of their sisters, and they still persevered because they were inspired by great teachers and great principals. So I believe that we will continue to improve teaching and learning in this district, but we will do a much better job when we work together and not blame each other and try to understand the problem as it exists and not be distracted by people saying, well, we can't afford it, because they can. So I'll look forward to the next 2 years on the board, and maybe hope I'll get a few bonus years after that on Earth. But we do have some difficult challenges ahead of us, and we should never forget that. It will always be contested terrain. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Dr. Joyner, Dr. Benitez?
Yes, I just wanted to add a little bit more on teaching and learning. I know that in the past months, we've heard the words failing and district together a lot. And I want all of us to remember that words that end with ing are present and moving, and we are not moving with failure. This is not New Haven. We value our students, we value humanity. Numbers are not more valuable than humans. Now, we do believe that our city has talent that can contribute to this state, and that diverse, resourceful group of people who live in this city that comes from all different walks of life can make this state stronger and has made this state stronger. I do believe that we all, and I mean all, regardless of what's your role in these New Haven public schools, we all feed, we all care for students, and we all prepare them, and we all hold them dearly, including their families, and that we all, as a city, must be together to bring them forward. And that's what our Teaching and Learning Committee believes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Any further discussion? Thank you.
We had a wonderful, it was almost like a family reunion event at the Field House when we named the floor after Salvatore Verderam and Robert Lamel. If you think about urban improvement, there have been obviously groups, immigrant groups, and involuntary immigrant groups have had a profound impact on our country's history. Robert Lamel is Jewish. Salvatore Verderam is Italian-American from southern Italy. You know the historical experience of Jews and Italians in terms of persecution and oppression. And those two men represented the best of educators. And who a society memorializes says a lot about that society. And so to honor an Italian-American and a Jewish-American, one who's alive and well, I think Robert Lamel is about 85 years old. And I was afraid that either I wouldn't live long enough to get it done or he wouldn't live long enough to see it. And thankfully, that happened. The Verderam family was here. They came from all over the country, and they were able to see how much this community cared about their father. He started trips to Africa at Hill House High School. They made, for over 20 years, there were kids from New Haven that had African ancestry that would never have had a chance to go. And then Bob Lamel did so much throughout the state of Connecticut to bring urban and suburban kids together through sports and other activities. And of course, he had people that travel from Europe and all over the United States to come for that. Our own culinary department at Cross provided a world-class meal for us. And Eric Pachowski is a phenomenal leader. And along with the mayor's office, Giovanni Zen, and the mayor himself, that type of collaboration of Dr. White, the facilities, Dr. Negron, and the board for agreeing to name that facility after those two men. And I noted in my comments that to have a facility named after Floyd Little, Salvatore Verderam, and Robert Lamel was a testament to this city and what and whom it values. And I hope that we will continue to look at the people who have made such a great contribution to our city and name facilities after them. When you think about people like Gerald Tarazi, who I would say was our greatest superintendent, and all the great work that he did in New Haven, and people like Rosa DeLauro, who's still alive and well, we ought to start considering those names so that when people come into New Haven, they will see real people who cared about this country, who cared about humanity. And of course, we are a city that's a representative of all God's children. And so we need to continue to do that. And if there are names that people are considering, please get them to me so that we can let the world know that we still believe in DEI, and that DEI is baked into our Constitution in the Latin phrase e pluribus unum. And we certainly ought to be not back off of that because a temporary leader has said that, and his minions have said that that's not something that we're about, but we should always be about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and dignity, integrity, and excellence. That concludes my report. And thank you, Dr. Benavides, for your comments.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Any discussion? Thank you. Next, Mr. Wilcox, Head Start report, Citywide School Building Committee report, Finance and Operations reports, please.
All right, thank you. The Citywide Building Stewardship Committee meeting needed to be moved, so it was moved to this coming Thursday at 4:30. That is displacing the Head Start Committee. So we're going to be having a discussion amongst committee members and district staff as to when to reschedule that sometime in the next week or so. The Finance and Operations Committee meeting, we did meet in addition to the action items. We had a few items. You're going to see a lot of things are attached to the meeting agenda tonight as information-only items for you. I'll just briefly mention we had a snow removal update about how things are going with snow removal in the district. Dr. White provided that. As I did in the meeting, I also want to thank my board colleague, Ms. Downer, for her attention on this. It's clearly making things better by all reports from Dr. White and the things that he put in place to track performance is happening. We also heard about the Youth Family Community Engagement RFQ process, which we do every January, about how things are going as far as that goes, how programs are selected, going through the city's RFQ process. So that was a great presentation. The final things I'll mention is the financial. We had budget updates. So there is the budget update for the monthly financial report for December. There is a number that talks about the deficit. The caveat on that, as it is every year at this time, is that's extremely preliminary. And our CFO, Mr. Hernandez, did explain about how that's going to be changing over the coming weeks as they are able to better estimate the final amounts of dollars that are going to be coming in from the different funding sources like the state, but also through Magnet tuition and as well as what our tuition responsibilities are for other districts. So a lot of things that aren't on there now are those income streams that might be coming in. So more to come on that. And then Mr. Hernandez also mentioned about the budget process as they are continuing on with that, getting everything ready to make presentations at various places around the city, to us on the board and to the Board of Alders, et cetera. So more to come on when those public forums will be scheduled at the end of this month, maybe the beginning of the next, depending on the dates of when it works for the communities. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Thank you. Dr. Benitez, governance report.
Yes, we will be meeting on the 22nd next week. And at this moment, I don't have anything to report.
Thank you. Any discussion? Thank you, Dr. Benitez. For the Food Service Task Group, we will meet this week, 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Any discussion? Thank you. I move to enter executive session pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 1-2006A and B and 1-210B, 9, and 10. 1, for discussion regarding strategy and negotiations with respect to the collective bargaining, Reason New Haven, Federation of Teachers Local 933, and School Administrators Association of New Haven, Inc. 2, discussion concerning employment agreement with public officers or employees, Dr. White, K. Red Hannons, Dr. Joseph Lumpkin, and L. Flegler. Number 3, discussion concerning recommendation of termination of employment of Latanya Brooks Drum. 4, discussion concerning strategy and negotiations with respect to pending litigation in the matter of Vernetta Holly versus New Haven Board of Education. Number 5, discussion which may result in the disclosure of attorney-client privileged records. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. That's moved and seconded. The executive session should include Dr. Negron, attorneys Natalia Sierra Milone, Peter Murphy from Shipman and Goodwin, and attorneys Ilya Alexiadis and Michael Barrera, Assistant Corporation Counsel. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. Ms. Downer,
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Juarez,
Yes.
Ms. Cologne,
Yes.
Mr. Ailes,
Yes.
Mayor Elicker.
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. We're now in executive session. Thank you. The board has returned from executive session. No votes were taken. I'll accept motions. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, thank you. I move that we approve the collective bargaining agreement with New Haven Federation of Teachers, Local 933.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Mr. Waters?
I move that we approve the collective bargaining agreement with the School Administrators Association of New Haven, Inc., Local 18.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? See none, we'll vote. Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Ms. Downer?
I move that we support the superintendent's personnel report.
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, thank you. I move that we approve the employment agreements with Dr. Paul White, Ms. Keisha Red Hannans, Dr. Gemma Joseph Lumpkin, and Ms. Lisa Flegler.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Ms. Cologne?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded by many. How do you know who to call? Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Mr. Waters,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez.
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Ms. Downer,
Yes.
Ms. Cologne,
Yes.
Mr. Ailes,
Yes.
Mayor Elicker.
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr.